and strong dialects. Does any of this ring a bell? Yes. The descriptions also fit very well with Busan. 7 beaches, attractive temples like Haedong Yonggongsa, and we can't forget the famous dialect Busan Satori. And that's when I knew Busan was going to be my second home. I grew up so much in Busan that I even mentor other students from Indonesia to help them with their Korean and life in Busan. When I teach them Korean, I sometimes see myself using 사투리. Looking back, I remember struggling to understand what my professors were saying because they were using 찐 Busan 사투리, you know, the real Busan dialect. But I think that's what makes Busan more of my home. Through the dialect, I feel the warm charm that no other city can mimic. Global City Busan. We are in it together. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산영어방송.
부울경의 미래, 부산, 울산, 경남 방송발전협의회 운영위원장 성현우입니다. 북극 항로의 핵심지는 어디일까요? 대한민국 해양 수도권 부산, 울산, 경남입니다. 북극 항로를 품고 세계로 부산, 울산, 경남이 하나로 뭉칩시다.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
It is kimjang season here in Korea. Do you remember I even shared my personal kimchi tales from the weekend yesterday? So the global demand for Korean kimchi continues to grow with exports expected to break records this year. Ironically though, more Koreans are turning to Chinese-made kimchi, likely due to lower costs. And this is going to lead to a kimchi trade deficit, according to the Korea Customs Service. So yes, persistent inflation coupled with last year's surge in domestic cabbage prices caused by extreme weather made things worse. I fully understand. And although governmental authorities pledge to stabilize prices and develop the kimchi industry to help solidify kimchi's place as a global food brand, if people in Korea are buying kimchi from abroad or they feel like they have to, don't we need something more? I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Tuesday, November 25th on BEFM 부산영어방송. Good morning, Wavers. I hope you're all doing well. And speaking of kimchi, I'm representing the kimchi color, right? Kimchi is just one issue, though. The population cliff, that is another issue that is plaguing Korea, especially many of South Korea's non-capital regions. And with the low birth rate and aging population, many experts have pointed to immigration as one of the most viable and effective ways to bring in the new population. But is that enough? That is a question that many are posing, including the National Assembly Budget Office. First, on the status of immigration and population. While there has been a 1.2% decrease in the number of South Korean citizens between 2019 and 2024, the number of foreign residents has increased by 5% in the last 10 years. And while over half of these foreign nationals do live in the capital area, they have been going basically across the country. These migrant workers are a valuable labor source, especially in manufacturing, agriculture, and construction, fields that have been experiencing a labor shortage. But experts also point out that this effect is limited when it comes to actually replacing the decline in the domestic population. So right now, the effect is limited to what we call menial labor. And this is not to stigmatize a certain population, but not bringing about any long-term sustainable growth. And of course, this, once again, is not to discount the value added by the migrant labor force. But this also means that for both the workers and the economy, structural change is needed to maximize the economic impact. And the population, as we know, is closely linked to economic growth. And so, the proverbial two birds, one stone that Korea needs to definitely be able to harness. That's what we're talking about today. So, that is one discussion. But now we're ready for our text topic. So are you ready? Later on, we're going to be talking about something related to space. So here we go. Would you be interested in going into space? Where is the farthest place you would want to travel to? All right. 나는 우주 여행 관심 있다 versus 없다. 내가 가보고 싶은 가장 먼 곳은 I thought about this. Okay, I'll go first because I can. The farthest place I want to go to, I don't want to leave Earth. The farthest place I checked from Korea is like South America. I checked on the internet before I got into the studio. I like Earth. I don't know. I don't really want to go into space. Call me a fuddy-duddy. Call me, just a person who does not enjoy, traveling to space. Call me someone who just does not enjoy traveling. And, you can call me whatever, but I don't really want to travel to space. But that's my opinion. I would love to hear your opinion. So send in your opinions to BFM's live stream live chat on YouTube. So go to the YouTube platform and type in BEFM 부산영어방송. And once you find our channel, you can subscribe, log in, and chat with other waivers. And also from your phone, pound 9050, shop 9050. That's going to cost you 100 won. You can also chat with me through Kakao Talk. So the thing there, you got to find us first, BEFM, 부산영어방송. And then once you add us as a friend, you can send in your messages, photos as well. The ways you can tune into Morning Wave in Busan, 90.5 or 103.3 FM on the radio. So also, like I said, we're streaming live on YouTube. If you have not checked us out, I hope you have the opportunity to do so. You can watch again at your leisure also. The BFM app, the Papang app, available there as well, free and easy to download. And looking ahead to our Tuesday morning together, can you believe this is the last week of November already? We have Wave Sports with Andrew. That's in hour number 1. Bonnie with Simply Sustainable. That's in hour number 2. And for a special interview, you may have heard that the BBC is in hot water because there is a lawsuit, potentially a huge lawsuit that the U.S. President Donald Trump may be launching against the BBC in regards to its reporting. So President Trump is threatening to sue the BBC for its what he calls its misleading reporting. He calls it, in quotes, completely misleading reporting and how it shaped its reporting on him and what he said leading up to the whole debacle. So we're going to talk about this in hour number 2. This is a very important story about journalism. That's in hour number 2. So stay tuned for that with our expert. I'll be back with news overview. It's now 7:08, and this is News Overview. President Lee Jae-myung and President Erdogan agreed to deepen bilateral relations. President Lee Jae-myung and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan agreed to expand economic cooperation in the defense, nuclear energy, bio, and other fields during their summit in Ankara on Monday local time. Government and Pension Service form consultative body over currency rate. The government and the National Pension Service held their first meeting of the joint consultative body yesterday to discuss measures to stabilize the foreign exchange market as the Korean won continues to weaken against the dollar. Ex-commander testifies Yoon floated martial law in May or June of last year. Former military commander Yeon Hyung testified in court that ousted President Yoon Suk-yeol mentioned the idea of imposing martial law during a dinner at the presidential safe house in May or June of last year. Telegram sex crimes ringleader sentenced to life imprisonment. Kim No-kwan, the ringleader of the country's biggest cyber sex crimes ring involving 261 victims, was sentenced to life in prison yesterday. Ukraine makes significant changes to U.S. peace plan. Ukraine has significantly revised a 28-point peace plan proposed by the U.S. to end the war, removing some of the demands put forth by Russia, according to sources. This was News Overview. It's time for Now in Busan. We have Sejin in the studio. Let's say hi first. Happy Tuesday.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are
Yes, I'm doing pretty well. Well, I want your take on the whole going to space. How far would you want to go?
I'm always fascinated by the idea of going to space.
Ooh, so how far would you go?
Not particularly
Mars?
Mars, yeah.
You would go that far?
Yes,
Oh.
because I'm a traveler. I'm a solitary traveler.
Oh.
So, yeah.
So you're the complete opposite of me. I like my feet firmly planted on Earth. I mean, I don't mind. I love traveling like in a plane, going to a country, but not into space. So you would want to journey far, far into space.
But what about if you can go there and then you get younger?
Oh, I'm okay. I like my age.
Okay.
I'm firmly okay with
You
my
don't get
age.
age if you go to space.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I'm okay. I'm
Yes.
okay with aging.
Oh, okay. I'm not okay with aging.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no.
Well, to each his or her own. So I respect your answer. Let's dive into some local news. I hear that Busan is starting a major redevelopment project. Let's hear about it.
Yes, Busan's Suyeongman Bay Yachting Center in Haeundae district is getting a redevelopment for the first time in 40 years. It's the same marina used during the 1986 Asian Games and the 1988 Seoul Olympics. And ever since 2008, it's gone through layers of admin delays and legal dispute.
I see. And this is the one with the hotel controversy, correct?
It was. A 2014 implementation deal stalled after residents opposed to the hotel plan. And in 2016, the city had to turn down the developer designation. The case went all the way to the Supreme Court in 2018. Busan lost, and both sides later agreed to drop the hotel and restart.
I see. So what's actually being built now?
Project cost is about 158.4 billion won. They're adding 567 berth, yacht exhibition halls, yacht clubhouse, multicultural spaces, and public waterfront areas. And they're aiming for the end of 2027 to complete. The city is hoping for world-class marina and culture hub, more jobs, a lift for the local economy, and a proper springboard for marine leisure city.
I see. So we can look forward to that in 2027. All right. There's been a massive surprise at the Busan Cooperative Fish Market. Apparently, the biggest mackerel haul in nearly 30 years.
Yeah, this is an exclusive from Busanilbo. The market saw between 1.5 to twice the usual amount of mackerel coming in on 22nd. With this, the market hit their annual sales target earlier than expected.
Oh, so this is huge. So how much fish are we talking about?
About 220,000 boxes, roughly 5,500 tons, were traded in a single day. And this is the first time ever that one species alone has hit that number. Surely the market couldn't handle all that at once.
Yes.
They can normally handle 50 to 60,000 boxes a day, so they couldn't finish and had to carry work in the next day. The work, which usually wraps up by morning, stretched into late afternoon.
Wow. So this is very unusual. Do we know why this happened? Climate, maybe?
Yes. They say climate change is shifting where the fish gather. Mackerel are usually caught mostly around Jeju at this time of year, but report shows most of the fish came from East Sea, which is unusual. And they even ran short of transport boat to carry the fish. They hit 3.2 billion won on the 22nd, 2.5 billion won on the 23rd, and reached 300 billion won as of 23rd yesterday.
Yes. So I hear that they are starting a construction project soon. Is it because of this?
Yes. Despite the record catch, the market faces challenges due to upcoming modernization project.
Right.
Construction begins next month, which reduces the amount of usable space. Only 60 to 70% of the space is usable.
So what can they do?
They are trying things like clearing a parking structure and producing stockable fish boxes to compensate for space shortages.
I see.
Jung Yeon-song, CEO of the market, said that the market is running the sorting machines at full capacity and exploring the use of idle land as temporary space. But at this rate, it still may not be enough. So they need Busan City's support to secure additional auction areas.
Right. So I don't know if it's necessarily a great thing or not, but yes, we need to accommodate for the extra catch. So thanks for reporting on this story. All right, this next one is about an illegal lending operation that specifically targeted foreign workers here in Busan. It turns out it was run by a father and son.
Yeah, the police caught a father and son running an illegal loan business. They charged interest way above the legal limit. Busan police say they have arrested 3 members of the group and referred 3 others without detention.
Yes.
And they have issued an Interpol red notice for the father who fled overseas. Loans totaled about 16.2 billion to more than 9,000 workers. And they applied interest rates up to 154%. And earned 5.5 billion won in illegal profit.
Wow. So how did they recruit people? And we're talking about the people who they loaned out the money to.
So the father hired foreign workers in Korea by posting ads on social media under the name of Language Academy in Thailand and hired recruiters. Most victims were men in their 20s to 50s from Southeast Asia, Thailand, Cambodia, and the Philippines. And they borrowed between 1 million and 5 million won each.
I see. And I guess they were deliberately chosen because they were maybe unfamiliar with formal banking here, correct?
Right. They took advantage of them not being familiar with taking loans through financial institutions. And if someone missed a payment, they send threatening letters saying things like, they have seized everything, they want to get your salary, and report you to immigration office.
I see. So that is predatory behavior. So how did the police take action, or, what kind of action was taken?
Police froze about 2.1 billion won, and they reported all the money they made from the illegal lending to the tax office at so that they can tax it.
I see. So unfortunate to hear about this. Thanks for reporting on it. All right, let's next talk about Busan's public museums. They have hit a bit of a milestone this year.
Yes, the city says all 7 public museums in the city have been selected as certified institutions in the 2025 Public Museum Evaluation.
Yes.
The certification system is an assessment program meant to strengthen museum operations and improve public services. This is the second time since 2019 that all institutions subject to evaluation in the city have received certification.
Right, and some of them have been recognized repeatedly, I hear.
3 museums, Busan City Museum, Bokcheon Museum, and Busan Marine Natural History Museum have now been certified 4 times in a row. And along with those 3, this year's list includes the Sasang Museum of Everyday Life, Jeonggan Museum, Provisional Capital Memorial Hall, and the Busan Museum of Movies, 7 museums altogether.
Yes, so full lineup of them, and just in time for next year's major event.
Yes. Mayor Park Kyung-jun said it's significant that all public museums were certified before next year's World Heritage Committee meeting.
Yes, so we can look forward to that. And thank you for all the local news. We'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Sejin.
Thank you so much.
All right, I'll be back with your traffic and weather.
Good morning.
Good morning.
굿모닝입니다.
Good morning.
좋은 아침입니다.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan. Major news, local buzz, and expert takes. It's all here on Morning Wave in Busan. Brighten up your morning commute with Morning Wave in Busan. Morning Wave in Busan.
It is now 7:19. Here's your traffic report. First up, there's an accident to report on Hanbak-Bongno from Deogyang Elementary School to Mandok Choop Tunnel. This is a 2-car collision right before the tunnel. Please be aware. Next up, the Dongso overpass is congested from Hwangyong Ramp to the old Kaegum Tollgate. And it is backed up on Gwanmun-dero from Pangnam to Baekyang Tunnel. There is some congestion on Manduk intersection to the Namhae Expressway, the Kupo-Nakdonggang Bridge. And it is also slow on the Gwangan Bridge, that top portion. It is currently 11 degrees Celsius under partially cloudy skies. It's going to go up to 14 degrees. There is a chance of light rain in some parts of the city today. Across the nation, cloudy across most parts with some areas seeing rain or even snow, and there might even be some thunder or lightning. Strong winds across the western coast and Jeju. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for top stories, and we have Haley, I think, in the studio.
You see my head.
Where are you?
And a scarf.
Oh, there you are.
My hair.
We're only
Floating
kidding,
head.
of course. Oh, I wish. Do we need to buy new curtains?
I think I should just bring my own background for the days when I wear beige, maybe like a navy blue background.
I have so much
Yeah.
beige, and I just have to avoid wearing it. Like every morning, I'm like, avoid the beige, avoid the.
I'm just going to fully embrace it. There you go. Camouflage.
Yes, of course. You stand out anywhere, so it's fine.
Oh,
So, text topic time.
I'm staying on Earth.
Right?
We're
We're
no
not
way.
going to space.
no.
Yeah.
I mean-
hey, high five.
Yay.
Okay. Because why do we need to go to space?
I like Earth, and I renewed my passport right before the pandemic, so it has empty pages upon pages. And what I'm assuming they don't stamp the passport for when you leave Earth.
I have no idea and I don't care.
It's true. I will never find out. So my goal is to get those pages stamped.
Yes.
I do want to go to South America though. I want to go to Bolivia, to the desert, to the salt desert, and then to Argentina, Peru, Chile. So I think I'm going to need about a month off. Yeah, at some point. Yeah.
Goodbye, Haley. Of course, we jest. We're going to jump into our top stories. Let's look ahead to a major event coming later this week. The fourth launch of South Korea's homegrown rocket, the Nuriho, hence our text topic today.
It is an unmanned launch, so no one's going to fly out of Earth, but we are at D-2 days until the fourth launch of the Nuri on this Thursday, the 27th.
Right.
So if everything goes according to plan, it will be right past midnight, so at 12:55 a.m. specifically. So according to KASA, the Korea Aerospace Administration, and KARI, the Korea Aerospace Research Institute, the Nuri has completed its final assembly. The rocket went through its final inspection yesterday, which means that the rocket itself is at a condition that can be launched at any time. However, in terms of the location, it will be taken to the launch pad later today.
Right. So what's different about this fourth launch?
Right. So logistics, the first three launches, they were overseen by the KARI, but this is the first time that a private company, Hanwha Aerospace, is overseeing the entire process.
Okay.
So KARI said that because there were some concerns about a non-government entity overseeing this, so because of this, they conducted way more inspections than they did the first three rounds. The weight of the Nuri, he or she gained a few, half a ton. It's heavier by half a ton from heavier satellites. So things have been mounted on here. And what's different from the last time around, this time they're launching a medium-sized satellite as opposed to cube or smaller ones. Also, the Nuri will aim to fly further and higher altitude it was at 550 kilometers for the first three launches. We're going to get right to that 600 kilometer altitude.
Okay.
The satellite will be separated 24 seconds later, and the overall flight time will be 2 minutes and 26 seconds longer. So 2.5 minutes, that seems on Earth time, not very long, but it'll actually provide the authorities with a lot more data than the first few times.
I see. So what determines the Nuri's success this time around?
Right. So a launch and then separating the satellite. The main goal is to send this new generation, the medium-sized satellite, into orbit at 600 kilometer altitude within a 35 kilometer margin of error.
Okay.
The secondary mission is to launch about a dozen, or exactly a dozen smaller satellites into orbit. The results will be announced about 12 hours after the launch at noon Thursday. But on the ground, that's what we have to deal with for the next 48 hours. The weather conditions, specifically the wind. By the way, if you remember with the Nuri 2, there was a day delay because of the wind.
Right.
The threshold apparently is on average 15 meters per second. If we go anything beyond that, the launch might be delayed. Lightning. If there's any lightning, that'll be an immediate halt to the launch. We, of course, don't want to launch a rocket when there's lightning in the atmosphere. In terms of temperature, there is a temperature range, which we don't really have to worry about in the fall. However, rain today as we forecast across the country because it's not even the launch date, but when it is being transported to the launch pad, there's a slope, so we don't want anything slippery and any falls. So if there is rain today, slippery enough, that might be delayed as well.
I see. So, of course, we look forward to this Thursday. That is D-Day. Next up, let's talk about the economy. Actually, that's for the next couple of stories. This is all about buying a home in Seoul.
Which honestly was never really a very tangible goal for a young person in Seoul to begin with, but that goal is getting farther and farther away. So I do want to throw this, a very popular show, or it's getting popular, The Dream Life of Mr. Kim.
Yes.
The Korean title, I'm just going to roughly translate it. That Dream Life is the story of corporate manager Kim Bujang with his own home in Seoul.
Yes.
So that kind of is seen as, the goal. Well, for not Kim Bujang, the manager, but for Kim Tae-ri or Kim Kwajang, so the lower management positions, aka those in their 30s, owning your own in Seoul. Let's take a look at the data. According to the Ministry of Data and Statistics, the home ownership figures, there were 527 households in their 30s who were not homeowners in Seoul. So in Korean, 서울 거주하는 30대 무주택 가구 비율입니다. So this is the highest figure since record taking began 10 years ago. And that jump from 2023 to last year, also the highest. By comparison, the number of Seoul homeowners in their 30s, that's been naturally been on the decline for the past 3 years running. So only about a quarter of people in their 30s who live in Seoul own their own homes.
Yes.
Right. So a big difference from a nationwide home ownership. Again, we're looking at people in their 30s at 36% as opposed to 25%.
Well, we need to know what could be the reason.
Money. The ka-ching.
Yes.
Also, the lifestyle of people in their 30s, because even 20, maybe even 10 years ago, people did get married in their early 30s, had children. That was more of a motivator to get your own home.
Right.
But now that entire trajectory, when you get your first job, when you get married, that's all later in life. Also, the high percentage of single-person households, especially in Seoul, that makes home buying a little less likely.
Right. We have a comment from our producer. 제 월급으로 서울에서 집 사려면 문거리 정도?
I think I can buy the 현관, the entryway. Yeah.
The doorknob. Right. So what do young people think about this phenomenon?
I mean, realities aside, they still do want that housing stability.
Yes.
Even single-person households thought buying a home was necessary for asset building and stability in life. So 83% of those surveyed by the Land and Housing Institute, they said these are single, non-home owning households. They saw buying a home as a necessity further in the future.
Right.
But how far in the future?
I don't know. Just
right.
It's that sigh says it all, right? The 한숨. Well, we're going to move on to our next story. It is economy related. The won to dollar currency rate has been very unfavorable against the Korean won.
Right. So whether you're looking to travel or you have family studying living abroad, the won to dollar currency has been painful. It's been, So as of yesterday, close of market, the currency stands at 1,474.8 won to the dollar.
Yes.
And that's been lingering in that high 1,400 won range for a while.
Yes.
So this has been the highest dollar currency or the lowest valuation of the won since, this year, the peak U.S.-China conflict from April. Precariously, we're getting really close to that 1,500 won range.
Yes.
So as you said, upon this, the government held a consultative meeting with the National Pension Service to basically use it to put out the immediate fires.
Right. So what's the reason for the spike in the currency exchange rate?
Right. So we're going to get to some background of what's going on. This time around, experts are pointing to foreign investors. So investment, foreign investors pulling their money amid concerns of that AI bubble. Huge story last week. Also concerns linger. And projections that the U.S. Federal Reserve likely will not lower its benchmark interest rate at its rate-setting meeting next month.
Right, but experts seem to think there are longer-term, more structural issues.
Right, so immediately, again, I talked about foreign investors pulling their money, but then also South Koreans. How much of the Korean won is going into overseas investments? 해외 투자 확대. So while, again, foreign investors are putting their money into the Korean exchange, more Koreans are pulling their money out and sending it overseas.
Right.
So as of the end of September, South Korea's foreign financial assets, that was the highest ever at $2.79 trillion. That's how much South Koreans are investing out.
Yes.
And then by comparison, foreign liabilities, which is basically how much foreigners invested into the South Korean market, $1.05 trillion. So that's more than double. And of course, to invest abroad, you need dollars.
Yes.
And this drives up the demand for the US dollar, which weakens the Korean won by comparison.
I have a question though. But does the high currency rate actually mean that the South Korean economy is weak?
Not necessarily, right? It can impact the economy, of course, especially for corporations who have to import materials and they buy in dollars.
Okay.
And that, of course, can also affect the government's currency policy. However, that doesn't necessarily mean immediate crisis because for a certain part of the population, aka those who lived through 1997-98, the Asian financial crisis,
Right.
when the currency was even at 2001 to the dollar,
Right.
the high 환율, the high currency rate kind of brings us that immediate fear. But the economy, the South Korean economy is fundamentally different from the late 90s to what it is now. So in fact, the Bank of Korea Governor Lee Chang-yong last year said that South Korea's currency market is that of a developed nation. And fluctuations in the currency doesn't necessarily lead to an economic crisis, and that even there can be positives like helping with price competition globally.
I see. Thanks for explaining the situation. All right, for our final story, we're going to go to the Middle East, where Israel has launched an attack on Hezbollah for the first time in months.
Right. Of course, the tensest ceasefire we're watching is between Israel and Hamas.
Right.
But a longer one, a little maybe lesser known ceasefire has been in effect for almost a year between Israel and Hezbollah, which is a militant group. It has links to Hamas. It's also funded by Iran, working in Lebanon. And for the first time in about 5 months, Israel has struck Lebanon's capital, Beirut, in a civilian-heavy area. The goal here was to take out a senior member of Hezbollah.
Yes.
So Israel said it killed Hatam Ali al-Tabati, who's Hezbollah's acting chief of staff, second highest ranked member. Lebanon says that at least 5 people were killed and 27 wounded, including children. Hezbollah did confirm Tabati's death, adding Israel across the quote-unquote red line.
So what's the reason behind the strike and a potential violation of the ceasefire?
Right. So Israel officials say that Hezbollah has been trying to rebuild its military capabilities. It's also allegedly smuggling weapons into Lebanon and creating this larger foray of explosive drones as an alternative to rockets and missiles. In a statement after the strike, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said under his leadership, the state of Israel will not allow Hezbollah to rebuild its power.
I see. Thanks for giving us all the updates and stories. We'll check in with you in hour number 2. Thank you.
See you in a bit.
Everybody, this was Haley, and we're ready for our first song. Speaking of space, this is 우주를 건너 by 백예린.
혼자서 널 기다릴 때면 나 혼자 다른 액상에 있는 듯해 여기서 네가 있는 곳까지 얼마나 오래 걸릴지 난 궁금해 상상이 안 돼 내게 좀 더 빨리 와줘 그대가 없는 이곳은 내게는 너무 깜깜해 나 여기서 두 발 벌려 그대를 안아줄 준비가 돼 있어 너와 나 사이의 우주를 건너 내게로 우주 like to come over to me 너와 나 사이의 우주를 건너 내게로 날아와줘 더 이상 기다리게 하지 마 Yeah, I'm waiting for you now Ay, ay, ay Baby, I need you now Ay, ay, ay I'm waiting for you now Ay, ay, ay Baby, I need you now 저 멀리 널 보고 있으면 너와 나는 다른 생각을 하는 듯해 yeah, yeah. 여기서 언제까지 난 기다리고 있어야 하는지 궁금해 답답하기만 해 내게 지금 빨리 와줘 그대가 없는 이곳은 내게는 너무 막막해 꼭 잡은 손 그댈 놓치지 않을 준비가 돼 있어 너와 나 사이의 우주를 건너 내게로 우주 like to come over to me 너와 나 사이의 우주를 건너 내게로 날아와줘 더 이상 안 잡힐 듯한 그대 그림자 그댈 꼭 안고 내 맘 느낄 수 있도록 놓지 않을래 I'm waiting for you now 너와 나 사이의 우주를 건너 내게로 우주 like to come over to me 너와 나 사이의 거리 그 사이 우주 가득히 너로 채울게 나에게 다가와 Come over to me Baby come over to me Come over to me Baby I need you now Baby I need you now Baby I need you now
It's time for
Sports. You're supposed to say wave. You don't say wave anymore. You go wave and I go sports.
anyhow.
Yeah. Someone's dropping the proverbial ball here.
Because I'm so annoyed that
Jeez.
Vancouver won.
Well, yeah. Oh, we'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah. How are you?
Good.
You're looking really nice today.
Please clip that. New YouTube short, cat tailing Andy or Andrew or
You look
whatever
so
you want
nice
to call it.
today, Andrew.
Oh my God.
Do you see the hearts coming
Everybody,
out of my
please,
eyes?
yeah. Police, help me. Yeah.
Can I do the entire segment like this?
No. Please, somebody, send help. Send help. What's going on?
Yeah. How are you?
Good.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of the color of your shirt. What color would you say that is?
It's like a cherry pink.
A cherry pink?
No?
I always just go with fuchsia.
Fuchsia?
Do you remember that commercial when we were younger? I don't know. Maybe it was a Canadian one. It was like people washing clothes. And it was like, hey, what color is this? It's a fuchsia. And everyone was like, what fuchsia? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tommy says stop.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry, Tommy.
Tommy. Anyhow. Yes. So, text topic.
Sure.
Would you be interested in going to space? Where's the farthest place you would want to travel to?
As far away from here as I can get. No.
Not from me.
Well, after those eyes.
The batting of the eyelashes.
It's the power of the mustache, people. It's the power of the mustache. I would definitely go to space.
You would?
100%.
With your fam or without?
I don't know. Yeah. But obviously, I'd want to make sure. I mean, of course, everything has its, it could be dangerous. I would like for it to be a little bit more civilian friendly than maybe it currently is.
Yes.
But yeah, I think I'd be up for going. I wouldn't want to be like the 1,400th in person. I'll go the 4th. I want to go early. I want to be like, people are like, hey, you know that guy?
You want to go early?
He went to space first. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
But maybe, I'm not sure. As far as, maybe, I don't know how, I want it when it's like Star Wars, that technology.
Ooh.
Like, I want to hyperdrive.
Oh. You want to go warp speed, like Star Trek.
I was going to say, you're a Trekkie.
They're calling you Luigi, but yeah. Not Luigi, Wario, the evil one.
Whatever you
All right.
say. All right, but we do got to get to some sports
We do.
here. If I can talk, it's those eyes got me all. All right. So we're going to be talking about some
Yes.
MLS action and an absolute heartbreaker for LAFC and Son Heung-min. Yeah, I think that was everybody, at the end of this game.
Yes.
And this game had everything. Now, we're going to get to a clip here. We're going to pick this up. It's 2-0 at this point for Vancouver, and they look like they're in a comfortable lead, and
Yes.
it's no way back for LAFC, and that's where we're going to pick things up. Let's get to our clip.
Delgado, they'll flick it behind, the header back to Son, Thitikul with the save, and the rebound is finally over the line. LAFC are back in it, and Son has scored. Son Heung-min with the set piece, goes for goal, scores! Son delivers! LAFC have life! against Hugo Lloris to send Vancouver to the conference final. It's gone! Vancouver are through! Vancouver are
Oh, Canada. Oh, sorry. Korean-centric show. All right.
It's okay. The Dodgers won.
Yeah, well, hey, who cares? That's all right. What?
Oh, but Sonny missed the.
Yeah, I mean, this game. So, for those of you who or don't follow MLS or what, I was going to say living under a rock, but I mean, there's a lot of people who don't follow MLS.
I never did until.
It was, yeah, the LAFC was facing the Vancouver Whitecaps.
Yes.
In the Western Conference semifinal, and the Whitecaps were up 2-0, and that's where we picked it up in that clip. That clip was from the MLS TV on YouTube.
Yes.
Led by 2 at halftime. Honestly, I thought this was kind of done and dusted. I actually didn't. I was watching it, turned it off because I went to class, right, and then it was kind of like, all right, and I forgot about it because I was like, yeah, whatever, I forget about it.
I was doing dishes. I wasn't even paying attention.
It was like Liverpool losing 3-0 on the weekend. Anyway, we won't get to that. But LAFC stormed back in dramatic fashion, led by Son Heung-min. His first goal, a mad scramble, garbage goal in front of the net. Someone's got to put it in.
Right.
It should have been put in probably 3 kicks before he put it in. It was off a guy's head, off an arm. But the next goal in the 95th minute to tie it up, an absolute worldie of a free kick. And I don't know. A lot of people were like, is he going to go for it? Is he going to just chip it in and go for a header? He absolutely smashed that in the back of the top corner. And then it went into penalty kicks. But in extra time, LAFC, they were running the show. They probably could have scored 4 goals.
And they were down. Vancouver
was down by 2 men.
By 10 and then now down to 9.
Yes.
And then
it was so many chances. And then we get, and as we heard in the clip, we get Son Heung-min steps up to take the first penalty. And I don't think I've ever seen him kick a ball that hard.
Into the goalpost.
And then the microphone was on the post as well. And it was just a dunk. And I was like, oh man. That is not good.
That was just
not good. Yeah. So and then as you heard, Vancouver were able to seal the deal. But there was chances in that penalty shootout for Vancouver to win, even after Son missed his. And the guy tried to do a Panenka and then put it over the bar. Come on now.
But that was just painful.
But very fun to watch. Unfortunately,
it was really
ending
entertaining.
To the season.
Right. It's over.
It is over. Yeah.
Well, for LAFC, yes. So Vancouver.
MLS season's over.
Yeah.
Game over.
Yeah. So who's Vancouver playing?
Yeah, so Vancouver will have to wait until later today to see who they will face in the Western Conference final between San Diego FC and Minnesota. That game is 12 p.m. Here in Korea, so if you're looking to check that out.
I'm rooting for San Diego.
I assumed you were.
Yeah.
Minnesota. I'll go for them. And on the other side of the bracket, Messi and the Miami FC crew made short work of Cincinnati, winning 4-0. I think that was kind of expected. And then NYCFC sneaked past Philly 1-0, a game that I kind of expected there to be a little bit more fireworks in this game, and it was kind of but to set up a conference final on November 30th. So I think, I'm predicting Miami to go through.
I'm gonna root for Vancouver.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Because, it's like so typical. Everybody's rooting for Messi.
It's their first time actually going to a conference final as well, so it'll be interesting to see. And Toronto FC, I believe, they've won 2, and that was, the last one was maybe 2014.
Root for the underdog. Hey, I want your thoughts on Son Heung-min's first season in the MLS. It was an abbreviated season.
Yeah, I'm happy you said that, because that's what I was going to get to, is that 13 games played, 12 goals, 3 assists. And there's, different newspapers or pages, they do rankings. And he had an 8.3 ranking, an average ranking out of 10 on one of the bigger pages on the internet. So, I mean, you can't ask for much better than that.
Right.
Hopefully, he can carry this into next season.
Right.
That the layoff isn't too much. There is talk of him maybe going and playing in Europe in the offseason.
He shut it down, though. He said no.
Well, yeah, money talks, though.
Oh.
Money talks.
Yes.
And I think, a lot of people are trying to compare him to Beckham when he would come back and he played for AC Milan and stuff like that. So I think, initially, and he did say that. He did say, no, I'm not going to. He does need a break, let his body heal. I could see there something happen, a little cameo.
I don't know. Off time, he needs to shoot commercials.
That's I said the exact same thing to my wife. I said, yeah,
he needs to
put some more money in the bank.
Right.
Yeah, he'll get married.
And you know what? I'm not dissing it. I'm while it's lucrative.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's like, and also there's lots of, and not just here in Korea.
Right.
Obviously he hasn't even really had time to, settle down in Los Angeles.
Acclimate. Yes.
And I don't blame
I
want to
him.
say he scored 2 goals, missed that penalty, but he was just in Korea for an international break.
Exactly.
I'm sure that flight didn't help him.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see what's
All
going on.
right. Let's move on to our next story. What is it?
So from the, I guess you want to call it the field to the ice.
Yes.
It is short track speed skating season. It's all winter sports season now. They're in full effect, full force right now, and everybody's gearing up for the Olympics that are just, I think, 3 months away now.
Oh my gosh.
Not even 3 months away.
That's soon.
So in February in Milan and Cortina.
I can't wait.
I'm super excited.
Wait, are you coming back for next season? Is Andrew coming back?
I thought you were going to ask me, am I going to the Olympics?
Our producer said,
Yeah, she is a big...
well, next week...
I am on 2 other shows at BFM if you'd like to check those out, but...
Next week, you're going to have to tune in to find out if Andrew's coming back for... Is it going to be Wave Sports?
It's juicy.
Is Andrew coming back?
I got sucked out by the tide.
We'll see.
Riptide was a little bit too much for me. Yeah, so it is short track speed skating. They've been going for a few weeks now. So South Korea finished the latest ISU Short Track World Tour stop in... This is... do you want to help me with this name? What do you think we're going to call it? Just Dansk?
What?
Or Gdansk?
What are we... What
We're
name
looking for the name of the place here.
Oh, where are we? We're on the script.
Oh, come on. Never mind.
Okay.
All right. So a dominant three-goal performance. Bouncing back from being shut out the previous day. A lot of people when this started, they were like, oh, no, what's going on with South Korea, right? But it was Kim Gil-lee and Chae Min-jung, who has been on that podium plenty of times, delivered a brilliant 1-2 finish in the women's 1,500 meter, charging through the field late to secure the top 2 spots. Now the pair then teamed up with Lee Jung-min and Lim Jong-un to win the mixed 2,000 meter relay, edging the Netherlands. It's always the Netherlands are always at the top, and now when the Dutch and when it comes to speed skating or short track or
Gdansk. Sorry.
Gdansk, there we go.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but I found it.
That's a Gdansk meeting there.
Yes, it's a Gdansk.
Dramatic finish. South Korea's first mixed relay title of the season. And then they went on in the momentum continued with the gold in the men's 5,000 meter relay as, it was just a great day for them.
Yes.
A great day for them.
It was.
So, and this is all gearing up, like we said, to the Olympics, where I'm assuming, I hope, Korea is going to be at the top once again there.
I hope.
Yes.
I hope they sweep. Yes.
Yeah, I think we all... Whoa. I hope Canada does all right, too. Did you see that? I put my Canada hat on.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Oh, Canada. Oh, Korea, Canada. There we go.
Did you hear that? Like the nervous laughter.
Did you notice, listeners, did you notice if you're watching on YouTube that it started with her giving me the eyes and now she's giving me she's just pandering to me. She's like, yeah, sure. Anyway, moving on to some golf.
We went from the pitch or the field to ice, back to grass.
Not back to grass. We're back to grass. We got to try to warm up a bit here. And it was the season finale of the CME Group Tour Championship. And Chino Thitikul stamped her mark on the 2025 LPGA Tour season.
On the field right now, yes.
Well,
on the grass.
Yes. There you go. Okay. Also doing a lot of advertisements herself, so I'm sure other people think the same.
Right.
But she defended her crown with a 4-shot victory and setting up a new single season scoring average record. Now, she was battling both wrist injury and a lot of pressure to deliver. She did not take part in the LPG event that was here in Korea after winning the week before in China.
Right.
A lot of people were like, yeah, she's coming to... And then she took the week off because she needed the rest. And I think she's only golfed maybe once or twice since then.
Right.
But then just rolls in, dusts off the clubs and says, I'm here. Don't worry, ladies.
Hold my club.
Yeah. I'll take this. Not a problem. She signed off at a minus 23. So 23 under for the week, locked in her Player of the Year credentials and earned a first place check of $4 million US macaroonies.
Nice.
Yeah, so a lot of people are wondering what went on with Nelly Corda this year.
Yeah, what happened?
It was a really dramatic shift from 7 wins last year.
Right.
And that was like so quick as well. Last year she had won like 3 in a row, I think
Exactly.
it was. To winless in 2025, but
She
lot
was
of
like the
runner-up.
Scotty Scheffler last year.
Nailed it.
Right?
That's a great way to put it, for
Right.
sure. Yeah, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, she's going to keep this going,"
No.
and she didn't. So overall, for the rankings here, now there are a few different rankings. If you look at the CME rankings, now
Yes.
this tournament, for listeners who don't know, is the top 60 golfers.
Yes.
Top 60 golfers. There's no cut, and everyone gets to play and then hopefully get a chunk of that money.
Yes.
Because it is the biggest one on the tour. But at the watch companies rankings, we'll say, Jun Thitikul was at number 1. The only Korean in the top 10 is Kim Hyo-ju, down at 8th. And then if you look at the CME rankings, I think there were 3 in that one. But
All right.
we'll see how things shake out over the winter, and we'll be back with some more LPGA in the spring.
Okay, hopefully you'll be here with us too. So, all right, thank you, Andrew. Bye.
Bye, everyone. See
All
you
right.
never.
Okay, we're going to wrap up with this song for our number 1, I Really Like You by Carly Rae Jepsen. Bye, everybody.
I really wanna stop, but I just got the taste for it. I feel like I could fly with the ball on the moon. So honey, hold my hand, you like making me wait for it. I feel like I could die walking up to the room. Oh yeah, late night watching television, but how we get in this position is way too soon. I know this isn't love, but I need to tell you something. I really, 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 really like you. And I want you. Do you want me? Do you want me to? I really, 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 really like you. And I want you. Do you want me? Do you want me to? Oh, did I say too much? I'm so in my head when we're out of touch. I really, 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 really like you. And I want you. Do you want me? Do you want me to? It's like everything you say is a sweet revelation. All I wanna do is get into your head. That we could stay alone, you and me and the temptation. Sipping on your lips, hanging on by a thread, baby. Late night watching television, but how we get in this position is way too soon. I know this isn't love, but I need to tell you something. I really, 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 really like you. And I want you. Do you want me? Do you want me to? I really, 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 really like you. And I want you. Do you want me? Do you want me to? Oh, did I say too much? I'm so in my head when we're out of touch.
Your best choice. BEFM, Busan 영어방송.
30km 이하 서행, 스코존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Brr! It's freezing outside. Let's crank up the heat.
Wait, you don't have to. Lowering the temperature by just 2 degrees can save a lot of energy.
2 degrees? That small change really matters?
You'd be surprised. If 10% of Korean households lower their heating by just 2 degrees, the effects are like planting about 350,000 trees a year.
That's magical. Then I'll just bundle up instead.
Smart move. Try wearing some thermal underwear or warm socks.
Plus, when you go out, don't turn the heater off completely. Set it to away mode or 외출 mode.
That way, it uses less fuel than turning it off and reheating the whole place later. Turn down the heat, but not your warmth.
This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, Busan 영어방송.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
It's now 8 o'clock. This is Spotlight News. President Lee Jae-myung and President Erdogan agree to deepen bilateral relations. President Lee Jae-myung and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan agreed to expand economic cooperation in the defense, nuclear energy, bio, and other fields during their summit in Ankara on Monday, local time. President Lee called Turkey a brother nation and expressed hopes to strengthen the bilateral strategic partnership in a more future-looking, mutually beneficial relationship. The two countries' public power operators signed a memorandum of understanding on technological and business cooperation. The two countries also adopted a joint statement on their strategic partnership, said Lee. Government and Pension Service form consultative body over currency rate. The government and the National Pension Service, NPS, held their first meeting of the joint consultative body yesterday to discuss measures to stabilize the foreign exchange market as the Korean won continues to weaken against the dollar. The meeting also involved officials from the Finance Ministry, the Health Ministry, and the Bank of Korea in order to assess the impact of the NPS's expanding overseas investments on the foreign exchange market and to strengthen coordination among the four institutions. In the meantime, the Korean won fell further against the dollar yesterday, hitting another 7-month low and nearing its weakest level in 16 years, weighed down by foreign investors' stock selling. Ex-commander testifies Yoon floated martial law in May or June of last year. Former military commander Yeo In-hyung testified in court that ousted President Yoon Suk-yeol mentioned the idea of imposing martial law during a dinner at the presidential safe house in May or June of last year. Yeo, the former defense counterintelligence commander, was a witness at ex-President Yoon's insurrection trial at Seoul Central Court yesterday. He also said that he told Yoon that it would be impossible for the military to be involved in the martial law imposition. The former commander, however, said Yoon did not elaborate on whether he planned to impose martial law, but simply mentioned it. Telegram sex crimes ringleader sentenced to life imprisonment. Kim No-kwan, the ringleader of the country's biggest cyber sex crimes ring involving 261 victims, was sentenced to life in prison yesterday. The Seoul Central District Court found him guilty of organizing and working for the crime ring known as the Vigilantes, producing and distributing sexual exploitation videos, among others. The court also ordered the publication of Kim's personal information on digital networks for 10 years, 10 years of employment restriction, and 30 years of wearing an electronic device. Ukraine makes significant changes to U.S. peace plan. Ukraine has significantly revised the 28-point peace plan proposed by the U.S. to end the war, removing some of the demands put forth by Russia, according to sources. The plan has been amended to include only 19 points after the first day of negotiations with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and representatives from Ukraine and Europe and Switzerland. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky may meet with U.S. President Donald Trump in the White House later this week to discuss the plan. This was Spotlight News. It's time for Waga. Haley's back.
Hello again.
Yes. So first we have to start with this sad news about the death of actor Lee Sun-jae, right?
Right. So he was one of the most beloved and respected actors in South Korea. Mr. Lee Sun-jae has died at the age of 91. So according to his family, he passed away early this morning. He was actually considered the oldest working actor, having been on stage for the production of Waiting for Godot and a TV show for a KBS series just until a few months ago. So his life, Mr. Lee was born in 1934 in Hamgyong-pukdo, the North Hamgyong province in North Korea. He came down to Seoul with his parents a few years later. So that means he's lived through the Japanese occupation, liberation, and the Korean War.
Right.
He was a philosophy student at Seoul National University, but this is where he also encountered acting for the first time, apparently inspired by the British actor Sir Laurence Olivier's Hamlet.
Ah, yes, indeed. And, his acting career basically has gone in line with South Korea's broadcasting career.
Exactly. So he was an exclusive or what's kind of a contract actor with an old broadcasting station, TBC. He's acted in 140 TV shows, and these are just the ones that he's received credit for, not even the unnamed roles. Depending on your age, you may remember him from different roles. So from the 80s, 90s, there was a huge period of period dramas, 하극, where he took a big part. Family shows like 사랑이 뭐길래, that had a 65% rating, like 65% of households watched that show.
Right.
Early 90s, he was kind of the typical Korean father role. But then he also took a detour in politics. He was a representative for the 14th National Assembly with the then Democratic Liberal Party, 민주자유당. But younger listeners might remember him from the more comedic roles because he took a very interesting career shift in the 2005, 2006 with the High Kick, right? That sitcom series.
Right.
He dove into this role, this grandpa who watches adult films. So that was kind of a very seen as a cool turn of career for this very distinguished actor. He returned to stage in his late 80s, and he took a role of King Lear, the titular role, all of its 200-minute production, acting in a physical feat. He did have to take a break since October due to health problems, which unfortunately brings us to today's story.
That's right. So absolutely, we lost a great one. Rest in peace. Yes, thanks for reporting on this one. All right, up next, South Korea has one of the biggest gender wage gaps in the developed world, and here's an incentive to bridging this gap.
Actually, the biggest,
yes,
unfortunately. So bridging the gender wage gap could lead to husbands taking a bigger role in domestic labor and ultimately raising the birth rate. So it's an interesting order of things. So this could be a potential solution for rebounding the country's low birth rate.
Sure.
So this is based on a Bank of Korea editorial based on analysis of data and statistics ministry figures. So here are the facts. For dual working couples, right, 맞벌이, regardless of gender, when spouse A works longer hours or gets a raise, higher the salary goes.
Yes.
Spouse B tends to spend more time doing domestic work. So chores, child raising. Makes sense, right? But then here's where a gender divide comes in.
Okay.
For husbands, the factors that did not have an impact on how much time they spent doing chores was how many kids they had or how much they themselves made.
Oh.
However, a notable factor, how much their wives made in terms of salary, that affected, or how much the wives worked, that affected how much chores the husband did.
Oh, interesting. So why would this be the case?
Right. So the author of this editorial said that when women have higher wages, men tend to partake more in housework and childcare. And when men come home earlier, women's, their time spent on household chores, that goes down as well. So there could be social or cultural factors at play. Men traditionally have a higher burden of being the breadwinner, right? The 가장. So they might have to work late. And then the women become the last resort, this 최후의 보루 of housework and child rearing that's led to this traditional distribution. The author also pointed out that women making 70% of men's average wages causes the biggest gender gap in South Korea out of all OECD countries. So what's the conclusion? If this gender wage gap were to come down, meaning women made more, then men would be more incentivized to actively partake in domestic work. And of course, we know that, the equal distribution of chores leads to a rise in birth rate.
Sure.
So there has been an interesting pattern in the developed world of higher labor participation by women, and thus higher domestic participation by men, leading to higher birth rates.
I see. Okay, very interesting. We're going to move on, though. Last week, we talked about this dentist office that filed for 1.8 million won in damages against a worker who quit after just 2 days. So apparently this is backfired against the dentist.
Right. So labor authorities have launched an inspection of this dentist office's labor conditions.
Ooh.
So this came after reports that this huge dentist office in Gangnam district had a condition, terms and conditions in their labor contract that if employees don't give a month's notice before they quit, they have to give half of that month's salary for compensations for damages.
Right.
So, by the way, this preset level amount of compensation is illegal. It's banned under the Labor Standards Act. And also, former employees, not only the one that quit and had to pay, but others have told the press that this wasn't the only alleged violation of the labor contract or labor law they've experienced.
So are we talking hostile working conditions?
A seemingly onion of layers upon layers of alleged illegal overtime and even bullying.
Okay.
So the chief dentist, like the president, the CEO, would allegedly cuss the workers out in the group chat. If workers made mistakes, they had to have timeout. Timeout. They would need to stand and stare at the wall, allegedly for hours.
Oh my gosh.
And then, 빽빽이, do you remember? I don't know if you've ever had to write it.
빽빽이?
It's when you write like a 반성문, a repentance letter, but you have to write in really tiny fonts and fill up this whole whole sheet of paper.
Oh my gosh.
Some had to write that. They're saying 60 lines on a piece of the regular A4 size computer paper. One former worker says that they allegedly saw a pile of such letters in the lead dentist's desk drawer. So this hints at this having been a common occurrence.
Okay.
There are also allegations that the lead dentist gathered employees and forced them to sign a letter consenting to overwork past the 12 hours per week cap.
Oh, goodness.
So an attorney for the hospital told the press that they have nothing to say, that they'll need to contact the dentist's office directly. So upon these reports, the labor ministry apparently expanded their inspection with 7 officials and will not only look into the labor contract, but the overall violation of labor laws.
Wow. So further details on that story. All right. For a final one, though, an important moment in history has been auctioned off.
It's a pocket watch, but it stopped at the moment the Titanic sank.
Ooh.
Right. So this sold for 1.78 million pounds or 3.4 billion won.
Okay.
The highest ever for any Titanic memorabilia. So this watch, who did it belong to? One Mr. Isidore Strauss, a 67-year-old at the time of death. He was a partner in the New York City department store Macy's when he went abroad the Titanic. He and his wife were among the few first-class passengers who died on the Titanic.
Right. So although the name might be unfamiliar, they have one of the most, I guess, watched moments in like pop culture history.
Okay, so we've all seen Titanic,
Yes.
right? You remember when the ship sinks, there are scenes, kind of a montage of passengers.
Yes.
The old couple on the bed.
Oh,
Yeah,
that one.
holding each other as the water rises above them. This is them.
Oh.
This is based on a real life story of this couple depicted in the 1997 film by James Cameron. So, real life story. When the ship was beginning to sink,
Yes.
the couple, Mr. and Mrs. Strauss, because they were in first class, they were elderly, they went to the lifeboats and they were offered a seat because of their age. However, Mr. Strauss declined to be given one before the other men because usually it's women and children first and then
Right.
seniors. And then because of this,
Yes.
his wife, Ida, refused to leave her husband's side. So they actually, so in real life, they died on deck together, but they were together until the very last moment. So according to the auctioneer Andrew Aldridge, the Strausses were an ultimate love story.
Yes.
Ida refusing to leave her husband of 41 years on the Titanic. And this world record prize is testament to the respect that they are held in.
And we have an image of that very watch on our YouTube page.
2:21 the time.
It's a beautiful watch because it's a beautiful love story.
Indeed.
Aw,
Yeah.
so if you see it on our page, it's gold, it's beautiful.
What an astounding story.
What a
right?
testament.
What two great people.
Yes, yes, amazing. Thank you for all of the stories, and of course, we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Haley.
Have a great day.
All right, it's time to wrap up Wagle Wagle, but we have traffic and weather in store for you. It's now time for your traffic update. There is an accident on the Namhae Expressway, the second branch, Je-Ijiseon, going toward Kimhae, right by the Karak interchange. There's another accident on the Dongso overpass going away from the city on Chure ramp. Apparently, it has been cleared, but there's still backup ensuing. On Chungjangdaero, there's congestion from pier number 5 going toward pier number 4. On Mandakdaero, there is some backup from Sukdong to Deokcheon intersection. Currently, it is 11 degrees Celsius under partially cloudy skies. It's going to go up to 14 today here in Busan. There's a chance of light rain in some areas of our city. Across the nation, it's cloudy across most parts. And some areas, we're going to see some rain or snow, even with thunder and lightning. Strong winds across the western coast and Jeju. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for your special interview. You may have heard about this one. U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to sue the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, for $1 billion US, accusing the broadcaster of making false and defamatory edits to a 2024 Panorama documentary. So the controversy erupted after a leaked internal memo criticized the edits as completely misleading and raised broader concerns about BBC bias. So the issue has now triggered a major leadership crisis, including the resignations of Director General Tim Davie and BBC News head Deborah Turnus. And this controversy has raised significant questions about things like media accountability, political pressure, and also the limits of defamation law. So today we're going to speak with an expert to unpack what this controversy means moving forward. Joining us today is Professor Robert Kerr, professor of Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Oklahoma. So let's say hi first. Hi, welcome to our program.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So, Professor, first off, welcome, of course. And if you could explain why President Donald Trump is threatening to sue the BBC and briefly explain this whole debacle, the Panorama documentary at the center of this dispute.
Well, our president is suing a lot of people these days, but in this case, he's focusing on some video editing. So not exactly a false statement, allegedly false, but editing that he argues creates a false impression. And this involved the BBC's program on the January 1st, 2021 attack on the American Capitol, where thousands of people swarmed the Capitol in a violent manner. And the president gave a speech before it lasted close to an hour, and the BBC in this 2024 program, they used a few clips from the speech and put them together in a way that a listener or a viewer could believe the president said them all, consecutively, and it could lead you to believe that he forcefully called for the protesters to assault the Capitol.
Yes. So in cases like this, Professor, how do courts typically decide whether an edited broadcast crosses the line into defamation? And first, if you could explain what defamation exactly is?
Yes. Essentially, defamation is false statements in media that damage reputation. And you have to have all three disseminated through media. And then it has to be shown to damage reputation. So by the book, if this were to go to court, the jury would weigh the facts and try to reach a conclusion as to whether they believe, one, that the way the program was edited or the particular part of the program represents some kind of false communication.
Yes.
So they would have to be persuaded, have to be convinced that it damaged the reputation, in this case, of the president. So that would be how a case, in short, would go by the book.
I see. I have a question, Professor, because obviously not just the BBC, but any broadcasting company has to do editing because they can't air everything anybody says. So there obviously is editing for any type of program. So a broadcasting company has discretion to edit. So in any case, when a broadcasting company does edit, they do have discretion to edit out portions. But how does an entity filter out or edit in a way that is fair and equitably and does not, I guess, edit in a way that is coercive or, gives a false narrative?
Well, you're right. Editing is necessary. The president's speech itself lasted almost as long as the BBC program. So
Yes.
if they had showed the entire speech,
Yes.
they had other elements they wanted to focus on and include. So the U.S. courts have, the Supreme Court has in cases in the past said that journalists, news media do have a right to edit, and that it's up to their professional judgment. If they deliberately edit in a way that is misleading or false, then that can be a problem. By and large, U.S. law has remedies for works of journalism that communicate false information, especially if it damages reputation.
Right.
In this case, I think you said the BBC has called this an error in judgment.
Right.
And, that it was not their intent to falsely insult the president or falsely accuse the president of anything. So that would be very important.
However, if there was this, leaked internal memo criticizing, the edit as a quote unquote, completely misleading, would this be some sort of evidence saying that, internally that there was evidence that maybe they knew that it might be misleading? Would that be some sort of evidence?
Well, it could be, and I'm certain that if this case were to go to trial, that memo would be a part of the evidence entered. It depends on whether what the memo concluded was known at the time of the editing, or whether that was a conclusion reached when they went back and reviewed it later.
I see.
Because the intent at the time of the editing is what would be crucial. There's a very important libel rule.
Yes. Professor, are you there?
Yes.
Yes. We're having some technical difficulties, so I do apologize to our listeners for that.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. So we're going to jump to our next question. So I want to ask you this, Professor. This whole incident, how do you think this incident might influence newsroom standards or editorial practices moving forward, especially around political content? Because I'm thinking this might influence, newsrooms moving forward.
I would think it's having a huge impact in newsrooms. I worked in newsrooms when I was younger, and I think probably this case and some of the president's other lawsuits have put newsrooms on alert. Everyone should realize that this is a time when an extremely powerful and well-funded individual is being very vigilant as to everything they say about him or related matters. So, but that's good journalism, really. Check your facts before you put your story out has always been the basic rule. This just makes it even more important than ever, more urgent.
Yes, absolutely. Professor, I do apologize to you as well. We're going to have to cut our interview short because of the connectivity issues, but I want to thank you so much for your time and expertise, and we wish you well today. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you very much. All the best.
This was Professor Robert Kerr. I want to apologize to our listeners and viewers for having to cut the interview short today. Once again, I apologize for the connectivity issues. It was beyond our control. This was our special interview regarding the BBC and, of course, the reporting on U.S. President Donald Trump and the January 6th, the rioting and what happened on that day. And we're going to take a short song break. This is Reason to Stay by Olivia Dean.
You've given your statement, the place and the time. You said a misunderstanding, that's all it was. I should believe you. We can't build love on a lie, but I'm starting to doubt you. I wonder why. If you say you love me, don't go and waste my time. If you want my love, you better mean it. One of these days, if you can't behave, I'm leaving. If you leave me no reason. If you say you love me, don't go play on my mind. If you promise me One of these days, if you can't behave, I'm leaving if you leave me no reason to stay. It's cool to be honest, it don't cost you to care, you know. Trust is a virtue that we should share. I'd never deceive you, I hope you treat me the same. But I'm starting to question what you say. If you say you love me, don't go and waste my time. If you want my love, you better mean it. One of these days, if you can't behave, I'm leaving if you leave me no reason. If you say you love me, don't go play on my mind. If you promise me, you better keep it. One of these days, if you can't behave, I'm leaving if you leave me no reason to stay. Give me a reason to, I need a reason to. Give me a reason to, I need a reason to. Give me a reason to, I need a reason to. Give me a reason to, I need a reason to. Give me a reason to, I need a reason to. If you say you love me, don't go and waste my time. If you want my love, you better mean it. One of these days, if you can't behave, I'm leaving if you leave me no reason. If you say you love me, don't go play on my mind. If you promise me, you better keep it. One of these days, if you can't behave, I'm leaving if you leave me no reason to stay.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm going to read some of your messages regarding our text topic. Would you be interested in going into space? Where's the farthest place you want to travel to? So some of your responses. I'm laughing because some of your responses are funny. Leslie, today's topic, I will be on Earth with Catherine. It's my home. Let's stay on Earth. And then we have... Please님, 김치색 예뻐요. Because I was talking about the 김장 season in the opening. 네, 김치색. I said it, so it's okay. I don't take it as a diss. Engineer-님 says, good morning. It is interesting, this text topic. I don't want to go to space. It would be too difficult to escape Earth's gravity. Spoken like a true engineer. 정말 이과 같은 답이지만 I get it. Okay. Betty says, no bueno for me to travel to space. However, the farthest place for me, he says, in parentheses, and my family and relatives, is Ilocos province? Is that, did I pronounce it correctly? Okay, so I guess it's a province maybe in the Philippines. I hope I said it correctly. For other people, I guess a lot of people don't really want to go into space. For others, some people do want to travel as far as possible. 오, 태진님, 우주 너무 좋아해요. 저는 별 천징자리 NGC 5861로 지구와 8,500만 광년이 떨어져 있네요. 우주여행 가면서 90.5 메가헤르츠 홍보하고 올게요. Oh, wow. You're going to go and you're going to promote 90.5만 홍보할 거예요. 모닝 웨이브는 안 하고요. 태진님 별로네요, 기분. 조금 살짝 삐졌어요. But it's okay. I forgive you. Okay, we're going to get to Bonnie and our segment. It's time for a Bonnie and Simply Sustainable. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Great, thank you.
I want to ask you our text topic.
Yes.
Would you be interested in going into space? How far?
0%. Not at all.
We are staying firmly on Earth, right?
Yes.
Join the club.
No need. It seems like too much. There's too much preparation. And
Right.
I like to look at it from down here. The stars are great, but I'm fine down here.
Me too. Me
Yeah,
too. Join
yeah.
the club. You, Leslie, and I, we're just staying here.
Yes.
And
not at all.
PD님, right? She's like, yeah. She's like, I'm in the living room. She's not leaving.
Yeah, my couch is not up there, so I'm staying down here.
Exactly. Yes. All right. So, what are we talking about today?
So today, because it is the holiday season, and holidays mean shopping, right? There's lots of big events going on. We still have the Black Friday sales. And
Yes.
of course, it's the holiday season, so it's the season of giving also. So we're buying lots of gifts for people. And nowadays, I'm sure a lot of people are doing their shopping online because it's very easy and convenient, and
True.
that's just the way that we've been going, with technology and it being so easy for us. So with these online sales though, I do want to say there is kind of like a backside, dark side to this, because a lot of people are online shopping, but what are we doing? We're also returning a lot of items. So I wanted to shed some light on the truth behind what happens to those items when you return them.
Yeah, what does happen?
Because I'm sure a lot of people think, I'm just going to return it and it's just going to go back to the store and get resold.
Right.
But that's not the case.
That's not
No.
true?
And has this happened to you when you order something online and it comes completely different than how you thought it was going to be?
Yeah.
Like the sizing of it? Like my friend for my birthday bought a big banner, like a taco party banner, and she thought it was going to be like door size, the size of a door. It came and it was like smaller than this size of paper. It was like a tiny little banner.
Was the description not adequate?
So I think a lot of people just don't look at the measurements that carefully. And so this has happened to probably quite a few of you out there.
Okay,
But when you receive that item, then is it worth the hassle of returning it? Sometimes, but sometimes not.
Right.
But a lot of times it's not because of a mistake, but people are also returning things because it doesn't fit right, the color's not right, a flurry of different reasons.
Sure.
So when we return these items, like I said, people think that they're going back onto the shelves and going to get resold. This is not quite the truth. That actually many items do not make it back on the shelf at all. So let's get to the numbers here.
Okay.
Every year, about 6 billion pounds of waste is created from our returns.
6 what?
Billion pounds.
Pounds. Okay.
Every year.
Oh,
Because
returns.
Yeah, and sometimes the items come and sometimes they're damaged, right? Through the shipping and handling process. Maybe something got broken, or maybe the item itself doesn't have all the parts. But that only accounts for about maybe 10% of the items. So 10% of the items being returned are because it's the manufacturer's fault or the shipping handling fault. The other part is because we ourselves as consumers, we change our minds, or maybe we purposely bought a lot of items so that we can choose. I know a lot of my friends might be buying like 5 or 6 dresses for a wedding they may be going to.
Like on purpose?
Yes, with the intention they're going to choose one of them, right? But they can't decide because back in the day we used to go shopping in an actual department store and we used to try all the garments
that's true.
on, right? And you would choose out of those. But we don't have that luxury with online shopping, so people buy numerous items and then try it on at home. That's our new dressing room. And then they return the rest.
Oh, that's kind of wasteful.
Yes, yes, it is. But I think people are doing it with the intention that these things are going to get resold.
Okay.
There's actually this thing called wardrobing where people are buying things in about 3 different sizes because it's hard to tell. And, from the pictures online, sometimes you can't really tell. We don't know the exact measurements that well. So with wardrobing, people buy something in 3 different sizes.
Sure.
And also with that, the intention is I'm going to find one of these 3 sizes will fit me, and then I'm going to return the other 2.
I see.
But usually those other 2, they will not get put back on the market. They will go to the landfill.
Oh, really?
Yes, they will get dumped.
Listeners, be honest. Do you do the wardrobing thing?
Yes. Have you ever done this wardrobing thing? Have you?
You know why? Because, I read every single review.
Yes.
I'm not perfect, but I try to be really conscientious. Like when I do order stuff online, I am so like I go through every single review and I read the 1-star review.
Yes.
Purposely.
Important, right? Yeah.
Because like the 5-star review, I always think like it could have been the manufacturer.
Yes.
Or it could have been, a friend or I don't know, right?
Yeah, someone who's getting paid for those
right.
reviews.
So I purposely read the 1-star review to find out why they left the 1-star review. And then like I try to figure out, okay, well, for them, why did they leave that 1-star? And to figure it out. And then maybe I think, okay, well, for that person, it could have been like a personal reason or like a one-off reason. And I think like, okay, well, maybe for that person it didn't work out. And then like I try to gauge like is it okay for me or like and then I decide.
Well, some people I think nowadays just with online shopping it's just so easy with the click of the button and a lot of times now returns are sometimes free. So with the convenience of that people just think okay it's a click of a button, I'll just buy 3 of the items.
I see.
Because if you buy just one size it doesn't fit, then you have to return it, then you get another one.
True.
Maybe it doesn't fit, then you have to get it again. So they're like, let's just buy 3 of these items in different sizes. But like I said, those other 2 items, they're probably not going to make it back on the shelf.
I have a question though. Why don't they go back on the shelf?
Well, when you think about an item that you receive in the mail, it comes packaged, right? Nicely packaged, maybe in a box or in a nice bag. So you have to unpackage that. You try it on. Maybe it gets a little wrinkled. So when it goes back to the manufacturer or the seller, they have to make sure that that item gets put back into that pristine first look packaging.
Like looks like brand new.
So this takes a person, an actual person must inspect the items, making sure that they actually got returned in the correct state. Nothing is missing from the item. And then let's say, for example, it's a shoe, like a tennis shoe. Most of the time you have to lace it up. The person that tried it on laced it up. So then the people have to unlace it, making sure that the laces are perfectly ironed again. And then let's talk about the packaging part of it. If a household good, maybe it comes in a box that usually has tape or something on it. So when you open it up, you take the tape off, you probably ripped the paper a little bit, which is not how the seller wants to resell it. It has to look brand new, untouched when it goes out of the production.
Or else the next person who gets it, they're going to complain like, hey, this is refurbished or like it's not new.
They're expecting a new item.
A brand new, spanking new one.
So then they have to get a new box, re-tape it up. So this is all a lot of time, right? And a person, like an actual person that the company has to hire to do all these inspections. And then also the repackaging, the new box that they have to get, new tissue paper, new bags, whatever it may be.
That's money.
That's money.
Yeah.
And a lot of these big companies, especially the one that has the same name as a very large rainforest, does not want to pay people to repackage and inspect all of these items. It's actually cheaper for them to just throw it away.
That's sad.
So that's why many of these returns are not making it back on the shelf. And this is about 80 to 90% of the returned items that are going back to the company are not making it back on the shelf. So what is happening to these items? Like I said, they're getting destroyed or landfilled, and some of them are even getting burned because that's an easier way to destroy it or get rid of the item. Like we know here, sometimes it costs money to throw things away, especially in bulk, in a large quantity. That takes money and effort as well. So sometimes the facilities will just burn the items themselves. Maybe turn it into some energy. There's something that some companies are doing, and they're kind of reselling the items in a big box. So you can actually, as a consumer, buy a big box of these returned items, and maybe you'll buy it for $1,000, and the things inside are worth $10,000.
Oh, wow.
So then you can resell the items yourself, but it's not that common because you don't really know what the items are inside. So then you might be getting some items that are more trash or some items that can be, it's a gamble. But they're getting auctioned off, and this isn't too common, so it's not a ton of the returned items, but because so many items are being returned, they're trying to find solutions for these items, but usually the solution is not to come back to the consumer, not to go back on the shelves. Something else that's being done with these items is big pallets of these items are being sold off to third world countries. And then they have to deal with it. So the third world countries receive these items, big, huge, like shipping containers full of these items. And so they will kind of decide whether or not those items are worth being resold or destroyed, or they just kind of sit in their landfills as well.
Right.
Yes. And let me remind you of that number that I said before. So 80 to 90% of these items. So think about all the items that you as a consumer might have bought online and all of those items that you returned because it didn't serve you. Those items just kind of went to waste. Because think of any just one item. Let's talk about like just even a t-shirt. So what goes into making that t-shirt, right? All the materials, all the manufacturing, the production, the shipping cost, all of that now goes to the dump. So it was all for nothing, right? So that production of that one product, if you think about that, is really unsustainable to just get rid of it. But then the getting rid of it process in itself also takes a lot of fossil fuels. It makes a huge carbon footprint and is not great for the planet or the people that are receiving these items too.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you never, ever, ever buy anything online?
No.
I never.
No.
It's everything's in person?
Yes. I mean, I'd say maybe in a year, I might have bought like one or two things online if I can't find it anywhere else.
Okay.
Yeah. And then...
So you really walk the walk.
Yeah. Well, most of the... Okay, I'll say this. Most of the things that you can find online, you can find in store. Is it more inconvenient? Yes.
And it might be more expensive, right?
Might be more expensive, but, not that much more. And... a lot of times, there are little sales that go on here and there. But for me, I do feel like the return, the cost benefit is much higher if I go buy it in person. And the time that it takes to go, it's not that out of the way. And for me, I kind of look at it as like a fun shopping trip. So I know where to get certain items from certain places. But like I said, most of the time, you can find whatever you want online in store. And a lot of times, it's just that extra, the convenience of being able to click something.
Sure.
Yeah, but what are you really doing with that extra time that you're saving? Right? Can you spend that little bit of extra time finding it in store for the benefit of, our future and our planet? I think so. So I want to talk about those garments that I was talking about because those big shipping containers that go overseas to those third world countries, a lot of times those are our clothes because that's what is getting sold the most and returned the most. So the world buys over 100 billion garments a year, every year. But of those 100 billion, 92 million of them will end up in the dump. So that's the equivalent of one garbage truck every second of clothes. Every second going into the trash. So some
We're
of these
overbuying.
Yes, a little bit, just by a little bit.
Okay.
So there's a place in Ghana called Cantonamento Market, which is the world's #1 secondhand market for clothes. And this place, if you see pictures, I mean, they get a lot of clothes get brought in from a lot of first world countries. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see a lot of these garments actually end up on the beach or littered around the town. So these clog up their waterways, and like we know, a lot of clothes have a lot of synthetic fibers, plastics, so they're leaching all these bad chemicals. So it's really polluting that area. And this is 40% of the imported garments are actually unusable. So they're getting a lot of these garments and they can't even resell them or turn them into anything else. So they end up just on the beach littering. So now, enough of the doom and gloom. What can we as consumers do so we can kind of reduce this? Because like I said, I don't think a lot of people out there are buying with the intention of, I'm going to return this and it's going to end up in the trash.
Right.
They think it's going to end up back into another consumer's hand. So what can we do?
What can we do?
Well, before purchasing anything online, like we talked about before, can you find this product in store?
Okay.
Make
Good
a girl's
question.
date out of it or make a boy's date. Go out on a shopping spree, go to the store, try to find it there. If you're buying online, try to take the time out to find out where the returns are going. So maybe even email the company, ask, find their social media platform, ask them what happens to your returns and kind of put it on them to answer you and find out where the items are going. If you have to buy something online and it comes and then it doesn't fit. That
Yes.
happens, of course.
Of course, yeah.
Instead of returning it to the company, try to actually resell it yourself because then it will actually get back into the hands of someone
Right,
who will
right.
use the item.
There are those platforms. There are
Yes,
plenty of
definitely.
them. Right.
So before trying to send it back online or back to the seller, try to resell it yourself, or maybe you can donate it. There are many things. Give it to a friend, even go to a clothing swap.
Resell it to a friend.
Yeah, even better yet,
Yeah.
right? Find somewhere or someone out there that can reuse this item.
Yes.
Because at least then it will get a second life, or maybe
Yes.
that's a first life, right? It will get a chance to get actually used. So do that if you have to return something. And think about every single item that you're
Yes.
buying and what it's being used for, how it can be a sustainable way to use it long term.
All
So
right.
the first thing always is, can you actually use this long term? Do you really need it? Right?
Yes.
This is the first question always when shopping. Do you really need it? And then after that, try to find the most sustainable way that it can keep in circulation.
All right. Well, thank you for all the great tips and the great information. And we will check in with you next week.
Yes.
Thank you, Bonnie. All right. Before I let you all go, we have some updates on that Nuri launch because we have new information. So the Korea Aerospace Research Institute, KARI, has decided to delay the transportation of the Nuri to its launch pad that was scheduled for early this morning due to the rain forecast at the Naro Space Center in 고흥 지연됐다고 합니다. 그 이동하는 걸요. The transportation process has to be done very carefully. So it is only 1.8 kilometers to the launch pad, but because there is a slope, the authorities, they don't want to risk nudging or moving anything. So the transporter carrying the rocket moves at a glacial pace, meaning very slowly at 1.5 kilometers per hour. So any rain could make the slope slippery. The authorities are taking any and all precautions. The authorities are watching the forecast and they'll make a decision on when to move the rocket after 9 a.m. this morning, so right after our program. As of now, the launch itself is still scheduled for early Thursday morning, but they have delayed the transportation of the Nuri. So that's all the information we have now. We'll give you further updates tomorrow morning. Well, we hope you have a wonderful morning and day. This is 질풍가도 by 유정석. Have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody.